restrictions. And I mean, they're still letting people go on, but it's just like a lot of people kind of just like, doing this.
Nice. Well, if you ever make it down, I live like a mile from the Seattle office. So if you ever make it down once we open up, I wouldn't advise coming down until we open up, but once we do, we have some great meetings there.
Awesome, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I can be the objective bystander saying these guys are the Jedi Council of Western Washington and that whole region. So go dial into their little Kongan parties and say hi to Mayumi for me, will you?
I will.
Oh,
And you got to get to that Vancouver office too, because it's spectacular.
yes, that's definitely on my list as soon as things kind of lift off here.
Awesome.
Nice.
So Kathy,
Nice. Well, Jay John, yeah, go ahead, handle this.
we are so excited to have you here on the Kong Family Show. Our mission is to change this world for the best, and we've been working on it for a couple of years now. And the starting of it was a story that changed the course of my life. It was somebody else's story. And so our goal here is to try and share stories. And ultimately, if I had people that would actually be willing to come and share their story 5 days a week, I would be sharing people's stories 5 days a week. But, because I think that the story that changed my life, I thought Kangen water was a bunch of nonsense until I read a story from somebody who shared their story, right? And all of a sudden I realized that the nonsense was me and my ignorance and and I needed to change it. Right, exactly. And so I decided to
Shame
look
on
after
you.
reading that story. And so that's where you come in, is we want to know what your story is. I want to know, my first question to you is, and this is always the first question to everybody who comes on the show to share their story, is always this: how, when, and why did you decide to get involved with Kangen water? And were you a skeptic like I was?
How, when, and why? Skeptic. Okay. So my journey didn't actually begin initially with Enagic. This whole, I guess, entrepreneurship journey for me started about 6 years ago. As I was becoming a single mom, all of a sudden I found myself in a position where I never wanted kids to begin with. And then I found myself in a position where I now have a family. And then all of a sudden, this family that I thought was going to be my whole life started dissolving right in front of my eyes. And it happened, so fast. And there's just so much emotions that were involved as it was happening. And I just knew right then that I wanted more for the life that, I was going to bring into the world. And definitely I wanted a much better life than was provided for me. And I guess that was the start of my journey into entrepreneurship. Fast forward, 5 years later, I've been through multiple network marketing businesses, and there's just been a lot of pain points when it comes to building the businesses for me, as it was, old school style network marketing, which required you to talk to all of your friends and your family, make that list, all of the prospecting, like going out there and like randomly prospecting everybody. So all of that was really, really difficult and challenging for me, being a single mom at the time, working full time, and then having my daughter on the days that I don't work. And, so long story short, in 2018, I finally decided to leave the last company I was with because they were just not showing any interest of helping their people grow their business in a way that their people needed them to. So I made a decision to leave, and I kind of took a little bit of a break and really sat there and asked myself, like, what was it that I truly wanted out of my life? Number one, for myself, for my daughter. And number two, what was it that I wanted out of a business that could provide that for me? And because I've had a lot of like network marketing training, when I found Enagic online in June of 2020 through a Facebook ad, the gal whose ad I saw was promoting like a lifestyle business. So when I kind of looked into it, it kind of checked off all of the things for me. It was going to be online, purely location independent. I loved the fact that there was no deranking, because that was one of my biggest issues with old network marketing. You know, if you don't hit a certain level or a certain volume within a certain amount of time, then you're starting
Use it
right
or
back to
lose
square
it.
one. Exactly. And so it was just like this depressive roller coaster ride, you know, like I'm a single mom working full time, got my baby, going through the lawyer system. I probably moved like 14 times during those, 5 years. And it was just,
Oh,
it was really, really challenging. So yeah, when I saw Enagic and everything that the business offered, I'm like, you know what? It totally made sense from like a business standpoint. And was I a skeptic? I guess not so much in terms of like the business sense, because I've been through so many network marketing companies that like I know that these opportunities do exist out there. Um, but I wouldn't say I was like all for Kangen water. I was kind of just like, okay, everything checks off on the business side. In terms of the product side, I mean, like cleaner drinking water, less plastic waste, making an impact in the world in that sense. I'm like, yeah, I think I can stand behind it. But little did I realize the actual real impact, health benefits that it had on myself. And, you know, just after getting the machine, I think I received my machine in about July. And then after a couple of months, after receiving my machine, it was as if like my whole body went into like this shift, like a complete shift. All of a sudden, like I was able to think more clearer. I had more energy. And because of that, and I guess like the training that was involved, with Enagic and the leadership, and you get all of this personal development that comes with it, right? Like all of a sudden I found myself, now I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, like I can totally see myself going after this. And all of a sudden, it was like once I raised my vibration, I cut off all of the people that just weren't vibing with me on the same level that I found in the past. And
get going.
I finally got rid of the last, I call these people wankers. So I got rid of the last wanker that was really holding me back just a few months ago. And like, my vision, my clarity has just never been so much more clear, I guess, like in the direction that I want to go and what I want to do in terms of like serving the world with
God
Enagic
bless you.
water.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, listen, I've got a God, that's so compelling. You're so articulate. And I told you she was a firecracker. This girl don't even play. She's a rookie coming in, just savvied up like a vet. That being said, the last 11 months, sister, have been probably the most tumultuous in modern times, if not without equivocation. Talk about, you're right in the thick of it. Everyone's losing their mind. They're locking shit down. They're, keeping people out. They're cutting off travel. Speak to that a little bit about, you joined when a lot of people have been sitting around puckering up, waiting for something to happen.
Sure.
You joined in a real crazy time. So, I mean, can you dial in on that just from a strength and perspective standpoint? Because all that does is just reflect courage.
For
I
sure.
mean, nothing was really easy at that point. So can you
No.
speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so definitely a lot of people looking from the outside into my situation would probably think I'm batshit crazy, starting a high ticket biz
Guilty.
in the middle of a pandemic. However, I guess just like my last 5 years of going through, single mommyhood, going through all of the challenges and adversity, the legal system, and like just challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge, I kind of feel like all of that was as if it was like prepping me for the very
Battle
moment that I
tested.
came across Enagic. So when I came across Enagic, and it was a high ticket biz, so it is an investment that you have to put into yourself and into your business. It wasn't even a matter of me questioning it. When the opportunity comes to you and because you've gone through so much, and when it's finally handed to you, you're like, okay, this is it. I need to make it happen regardless. And so
Yeah.
regardless of me not having the initial investment at the time, I knew that I needed to do something different, because if I didn't, all I was going to be doing was sitting at home, moping, probably sleeping a
Yeah.
lot, and kind of just like blaming, like blaming, oh, this sucks because the pandemic is here, and like the government this, and like, all of the arguing, all the controversy, BS that people are arguing about that isn't really moving anything forward. I
Yeah.
had to really take myself out of that kind of state of mind and be like, okay, I can either do that, or I can make real change right now and set myself up so that when the pandemic is over, I will be set up. And
Yeah.
so some of the crazy stuff that I've actually had to do to make this work is I got rid of my car. So
What?
that yeah, I intentionally got my car towed, and that opened about $800 a month for me to invest into myself and my business, right? And
Nice.
I went off and I pawned off all of the stuff that wasn't really being in use. So a lot of stuff from my ex-boyfriends, I pawned
Right.
off
Right.
to really invest the money into the courses, into my mindset, and everything that was necessary in order for me to move not only myself but my business forward as well. So there's been a lot of challenges, but I guess, yeah, I guess like the message in that is you always have a choice. When you're faced with dilemma, you either are going to have a bunch of excuses and just lower your state of vibration and stay there, or you can really raise your vibration, do something different, and know that everything, including this pandemic, is just temporary.
Oh, good Lord. No, man, this has got to be our go-to video to send out to all those couch surfing, potato chip
Right.
eating slobs right now, watching Young and the Restless right now. Come on.
Yeah,
No, that's huge.
I go ahead, brother. So
Very clear, very purposeful, articulate, no blinking, sit around and fluff off or get after it, whip that horse. I mean, that's perfect personification of that. Go ahead, Jay John. I like your medallion, by the way.
by far and away, you guys, the biggest thing we hear in this business is, oh, it's too expensive, or I can't afford it. I'd really love it, Kathy, if you could kind of expand upon that. Here you are, a single mom, and you've got this, $3,000 to $5,000 machine investment that you need to make into this business to make it happen. And you just mentioned that you sold your car or you got your car towed or whatever, however that all worked out. You pawned things off to, what would you have to say to those people out there that say they can't afford it, that now, because of the times right now, I can't do it, or whatever, what kind of advice would you have for those people to help
Um,
them make a better, to jump into this life changing
yeah.
opportunity? And then maybe after you're done talking about that, explain how has this changed your life? I know you said something about mental clarity, that it's helping you think better and that kind of stuff. If you could maybe expand a little bit on that, how you've been using the water, if any, and just kind of that kind of thing. How is it, the sacrifices you made, how has that turned into incredible value for you?
Mhm. Okay, so to start off first with the people who are telling themselves that they can't afford it, the way that I look at it is, if you're telling yourself that you can't afford this and that it's too expensive for you, then you need to also be okay with where your current situation is and knowing that that's not going to change. So if you're a person who wants your situation to change, but you're telling yourself that you can't afford this and you can't do what's required of you to move your life forward, then you have to be okay with where your life is, and you have to accept that there's probably not much that is going to change, because we all know that until you, not anybody else, until you make a true change internally, nothing in your external world is going to change. And I know that this is me telling myself too, because I was one of those people for many, many years, right? And the way I look at it now is I really compare it to almost like schooling in a way, because I think a lot of times people come in, and I don't know why people have such a hard idea. Maybe it's, just like conditioning from all of these years, but people always compare when they come into a business. It's as almost as if like people want instant results. All of a sudden, like people are supposed to take care of everything for them. Everything is supposed to be done for them, and they're just supposed to like come in, show up, and like everything's supposed to happen for them. But that's not the case, right? We all know that each and every person's success is directly correlated to their own efforts, their own mindset, how they view themselves, all of that. It goes so much deeper than just what we kind of see on the outside. And the way that I kind of got myself to move forward was I really compared it to my situation at hand, and if I didn't move forward with Enagic, what it was going to kind of be like. So when I did the comparison, like for example, I'm a dental assistant by trade, so it costed me $15,000 to get certified and 10 months of my time. However, I started off at $20 an hour, and towards the end of my career, like I'm pretty much dead set on not going back. And so I have this mentality that I'm not going back. But towards the end of my dental assisting, I was making about $40 an hour. And like, I know for a fact that I'm completely capped, because $40 an hour in the dental assisting world, I'm probably making about like 30 to 35% the average wage of what the girls are making. So for me to really stay in dental assisting and try to get more than what I'm getting, it's just going to be an uphill battle, so much resistance, so much stress, so much fighting. And I see it right now happening in the dental world. Everybody's being overworked and underpaid. There's so many new regulations. And now with COVID, all of these extra protocols are being put on us, but nobody's getting a raise for all the extra work that, are being put in. So when I kind of compare the two, it's like, okay, this $15,000 certificate that I got can only generate me so much. And in terms of, personal development, I already know that there's really not much when it comes to like a typical 9-to-5 environment. It's not a growth environment. And so when I compare it to Enagic, and I actually came in with the trifecta, go big or go home.
Right.
So when I compared it, I'm like, okay, what can this trifecta cost me $12,000 to invest. But in terms of like my investment towards Enagic and dental assisting, like, what's going to get me more long term? And obviously the answer was Enagic. However, choosing Enagic, I also had to choose that I had to grow myself. I had to, really dive into like my scarcity mindset and determine everything that was kind of blocking me from moving forward. And I still have so many blocks up to this day. However, it's already a choice, a decision that I've made, that no matter what kind of comes into my way, I know that there's always going to be a solution. And the fact that, Enagic is has such a wonderful community. It's so high vibe compared to any community that I've ever been in. It just makes it that much easier to keep pushing forward, especially when times do get tough.
No, that's huge.
Yeah.
J. John and I aren't even on the same squad. We met jiving around with some other affiliate stuff, trying to grow our brand, doing our deal. And, just like that, we became like, peanut butter and chocolate with a whole lot of nuts in the middle of all that. So no, that's huge. No, your mindset, you talk about vibration, there's so many people that just accept that low fruit hanging perspective, it's almost in a lot of respects, we talk about indoctrination. A lot of times people are really indoctrinated to just step over the bar that's put this high off over the ground and do that every day as some type of exercise and self-esteem building when we're not really pushing ourselves. So you've got a society of people out there that in a lot of respects, they're hung up. We talk about this pandemic. It's exposed a lot of mental health stuff, not on any crazy, I mean it in the sense that so many people don't know how to adjust. And we're in a time of adjustment. And you, my dear, my goodness, you just seem to embrace and embody that which is required, that which really reflects the human spirit on a level of when challenged. And I think that vibration, again, that energy, it's captivating. It's very motivating and inspiring. And I'm really looking forward to being able to share that with everyone we can. This will be a fun interview to send some of my prospects, some of my single moms. I'm a single dad. I got a 14-year-old and I got a nephew that came down and lived with us. So I got two 14-year-old boys. It's awesome. But you understand the challenges. So you being able to, again, not make any excuses, take absolute ownership of your conviction and your sense of purpose and your why. God bless you. That's huge. That's huge. It isn't self-serving. It isn't anything more than, visionary and, perspective based. And yeah, I really tip my hat to you, metaphorically and literally, since I'm packing a lid. J. John, what do you got in there, my calm brother? You beautiful bastard. Talk to me.
I've got to ask you, Kathy, to expand a little bit further, because Daniel DeMcCauley, he calls Enagic a personal development
growth
project, a personal development program with a compensation plan attached. And I'd like you, if you wouldn't mind, quickly to expand on how, because I know how much it's affected me being part of this company. How has it affected you and your mindset? How has that personal development program affected you? And how do you think that it might affect other people if they'll make the decision to invest in themselves?
For sure. It has affected me on so many levels. I'll quickly talk about kind of like the health benefits first that it's affected me. Number one, like I kind of already mentioned, like my mental clarity and, just having the energy and the clearness in your head to really make the decisions with confidence. And number two is actually when I became a single mom and just, going through the last 5 years of just challenge after challenge, like to be honest, I just lost all sexual drive. Like I just didn't have any energy left inside of me to even want to come near another man again. And like I said, I got my machine in July. A couple months later, I just like hit peak. And of course, it was also the worst timing because, we're talking about COVID, there's restrictions. And so like now there's this need for me to have like this human connection because I feel ready for it now, but I'm kind of being almost like I'm not able to fully express myself in that manner because of COVID. So that was like more of the physical aspect, the benefits for me. But the real change that it's made is, to be honest, the community. Just the community of, being around people that want to grow, that want to learn, that want to do better, that knows there is better, and that don't accept this almost like pre-made platter served to you by the system, people that just don't accept that. And just exactly what you said there, Sean, about like our society being indoctrinated. And I felt like for a long time, like I had real issues with myself because I thought differently, I spoke differently, I acted differently, and I hung out with the majority of people from the system. And so over the years, I just like, as I was speaking my truth and just being me, I kept feeling like I was being kind of like pushed down, like you're not making any sense.
Ostracized.
Yeah. And so after, just I'm a really strong person, but after so many years of that, and then of course having a child with a man that kind of has that mentality as well, it really starts getting to you. And it did. I really started thinking that there was something wrong with me and that I was the one that kind of needed to change, and that maybe my wants and my needs are unrealistic. So I kind of, I guess, became what's that word I'm looking for? When you're kind of like
ambivalent, just kind of at a impasse. You're just kind of there.
Yeah,
You
like an
know?
outsider almost. I felt like an
Yeah,
outsider and that nobody was going to accept me, and that in order for me to be accepted, I needed to lower my vibration or whatever you want to call it to kind of fit in with the mass, right? And it
yeah,
wasn't until I found the Anagic community did I start like all of these light bulbs started coming on for me. It's like, no, there was never anything wrong with me to begin with. I was just
right.
surrounding myself with people who haven't learned how to raise their vibration yet. So that was one of the biggest takeaways for me. And it also, I guess, comes to the next point of if somebody was to thinking on the fence of kind of joining a Nagic, I truly believe that this is how it's going to change them as well. Like really being part of a community that doesn't put any limits on you, that doesn't shame you, that doesn't judge you, that knows that,
Yeah.
you know, failure is part of the process, as opposed to, you know, in society, when you make a mistake, like in the school system, you're graded like an
Oh,
F. Or when
yeah,
you're at in the employee world, if you don't do it exactly the way that somebody else does it because they've got like this authority title, then you know, there's like so much gossip and just like all of these negative things that are part of like the low vibration environment. So I truly believe
yeah.
that like once you attach yourself to a high vibe community, you're able to raise your vibration and see life in such a more abundant way than you were
Amen.
able to if you were to just, you know, like stay where you are in society's expectations.
No, that's beautiful. You know, again, you're just broadening the range that your light is able to cover. You know, the way I'm always funny. I really like the way you talk. The world's full of so much darkness right now, and so many people are hiding in it, reaching out blindly to see who's there with them in a lot of respects, at least on a consciousness level. You know, we always kid around. I say Idiocracy wasn't a comedy 15 years ago. It was a prophetic documentary on the modern times and, you know, the way people just seem to veg out and go with the flow and not even think for themselves. You know, had an old guy tell me one time I had a big fire and you just got to keep stoking it. And the more you do that, the more people want to come to your fire for warmth. That immediately comes to mind, listening to you talk, you know, and you're just building your fire you're putting in with the fuel that burns, and it's just ultimately going to bring in a lot of people that are looking for that. Sick of being cold, sick of being in the dark, sick of being doubtful, sick of being apathetic. You know, you can't do that by shaming people into it. You know, I've done that being an athlete and such. Man, you know, you get on dudes, you know, you get after them. Then 5 years later, they call you when they have cancer or something, and you're like, ah. But you know, it's a matter of really doing it in love, doing it in personal empowerment. You're just radiating your spirit, and I think that's good for other people that really recognize and catch on, going, look at her, man. Why can't I do it? And I think that's fantastic. Edlin, got any thoughts there, soldier? This
Absolutely.
guy's a
Well,
Jedi.
Kathy, it's been a pleasure listening to you. I've been doing this for a while. I'm a 682 down here in Seattle, and if somebody said, "Hey, why don't you put down 5, 6, 7 things that you're looking for?" I mean, it would be you. I mean, you have all of the things, and the nicest thing about what you have is you have all the things that you can teach, and you have all the things that you can't. And so I already see where this is going for you. And what I mean by that is you already have a 6A mentality. I'm not even asking if you've ever sold a machine, because it doesn't matter, because I already know how many you will. So, like you said, you're very articulate. You know where this is going. You're obviously network marketing minded, and you have that mentality that, of what successful people end up doing. And it's nice to meet you. It's nice to connect. I'm glad we're only a couple hours away. And like I said, if you ever come down to Seattle when we open, we have amazing meetings here, and I'd love to connect with you. But I know you're going to have tremendous success, and I've really enjoyed listening to you this morning.
Thank you. I really look forward to meeting everybody on like a live, real life basis, where all of the vision comes to life, where we're all together celebrating what life should be about and kind of just enjoying each other's company and connections.
And can I say one more thing before you go? Because You had mentioned raising that vibration in the Enagic community. And from what you've told me about when you bought your machine, you obviously haven't had the opportunity, but I would suggest or support you in getting to the global Enagic meetings. I got to tell you, the last one we were at, there was probably 5,000-6,000 people from 25 to 30 countries, all on one mission. Literally took over a city, and your tribe because everybody's walking around with an Enagic bottle. And I mean, and it doesn't matter if they're from Phuket, Thailand, or Australia, they see that bottle and they know your family. And you're really right. You ran into the greatest tribe of people who are on this journey, this wellness journey together of raising people's vibration. And I'll be honest with you, you could literally feel it as you walk through the cities. And I've been to the last 3. They're all I tell people, if you have to use your last copper penny to get there, just do it, because it's the most amazing thing you'll see, and you'll walk out of there just feeling like a champion. So once again, nice to connect, and have a great day.
Thank you. And you bet I'll be at the next one.
Yeah. That's a girl.
So Kathy, go ahead, Marilyn.
As a mom, I am proud of you.
Thank you.
Proud of you. I was that single mom almost 42 years ago. You are my light. I see you going big places, young lady. Keep following your dreams. Believe in you. Believe in your little one. That's who's going to be looking up to you. And that's who's going to live out your legacy.
Yeah.
So just let you know in that. You touch my heart. I love it.
Isn't she sweet? We love Marilyn. She's a
it's so
button of
emotional
love.
too. Being part of the community is so emotional because everybody's so positive and supportive and like uplifting. It's just totally something that like I'm not used to, coming from like a really cultural family, where nothing is good enough. There's always something wrong with you. It's never ever good enough. So it's also, yeah, that's what I wanted to add to, and how it's changed my life, just the amount of support that you get and like the positivity. It just makes my cup overflow, and it makes me want to like continue giving back to the community.
Yes. And I would love my girls, my granddaughters, there are 2 of them that are single moms. I would love them to connect with you because you are something that they need to be looking up to.
I would love to.
Marilyn, you'll need to get them this video recording when we get it on YouTube. It'll be up there tomorrow.
You would
I'm
think
going to be sharing this thing like Willy Wonka does chocolate bars. Like I'm going to be sharing this video like I got a big bowl of Halloween candy and I got trick-or-treaters for days.
Yeah, Aaliyah is my oldest one, and you resemble her a lot. And my middle one, Juanita, they're both single moms. And when I'm not a single mom anymore, thank the Lord. But when you are that single mom, you feel like you're lost. You don't have that extra person that's your spouse to help you make those decisions. But guess what? That child is blessed because you are that parent that is going to lead them somewhere, that is going to open up them doors for them, because you're the one that's sticking by them. Not just the father does too, because my son's a single father, just like Sean is. And I'm blessed, and I'm so amazed and proud of what he's become as a parent. So see, we did the seeds. We planted them.
You did good, Marilyn.
You did it too.
God bless you. I'm still knee deep in the buzzsaw, and I'm just sharpening my blade whenever I can,
This is the one that reminds me of my son, Buddy.
So
Nice.
Kathy, I've got a couple of more questions for you. This one right here is one that I've always loved asking people, and it always gets the most interesting responses. And it's this: you're out there somewhere, you're at the gym, you're in the grocery store line, whatever. You're in a situation where you only have like 30 seconds, maybe a minute or less. You've got under a minute, and you need to say something to somebody about Kangen water that might pique their interest and get you an opportunity to take a selfie with them or get them interested, send them an email, whatever kind of thing. What is it? What do you say?
What do I say about Kangen water to somebody that I have 1 minute to speak to?
Yeah.
Hmm. 1 minute. This is,
Or
Well, you know,
less?
and it's interesting because your approach to it was business oriented. You know, the water came and you start understanding that end of it, you know, even on a business level, honey. Maybe talk about that in terms of just like
Yeah.
what resonated with you. And,
for sure.
you know, the elevator's coming down from the 17th floor and you're standing there yapping.
Yeah, and yeah,
So,
exactly. Either way, whether it's the water, whether it's the business,
yeah, so
whatever. You got 30 seconds. You got a minute. What are you
okay,
going to
well,
say to somebody?
I would definitely say, yeah, I definitely come more from like the business perspective. So if you are looking for anything that really gives you true freedom, then Kangen Water and Magic is definitely the opportunity that you want to look into. Enagic being the business that can create the freedom for you. However, the byproduct of creating this lifestyle freedom business will give you like health beyond you can imagine, like how it's happened for me. The health side was honestly just a byproduct of me choosing to build this high ticket business from a freedom standpoint. So, yeah, I guess that's what I would have to say.
Awesome. I love that. Um, you know, the the other side of this show is trying to connect people because I've said since the beginning of putting this together that my main goal is to get people Kangen water machines, and by sharing stories. And if people buy those machines from whoever they buy them from, I don't care. I don't. I had somebody who was being recruited by somebody else that had been showed this water by somebody else, and they reached out to me and wanted to buy from me. And I said, why would you want to do that? And they said, because you're closer to me than they are. And I said, nah, that's not the way it works. You go get your machine from him, and then if you need my help, I'm here. I'm here to help you anytime, anywhere, any place, anything I can do. You just let me know. But no, you got to go buy that machine from that person, right? Um, and and so when it comes to this, my main thing is I want people to get Kangen water machines. And somebody might be listening to this here today, or they might be listening to it a year from now or a month from now. And they might go, this gal right here, I want to hook up with her. She's the kind of person that I want to work with. How do I get in touch with her? So at this point, I would love to give you the opportunity to put out whatever information you want to, whether it's your phone number, your email address, your website, your anything that you have that people can get in touch with you. This is your opportunity now to spell it out, point it out, whatever, so that they can get a hold of you. How do people get a hold of you, Kathy?
So I'm a pretty simple being. I don't like being overwhelmed. I try to keep things really simple. I have a Facebook account and an Instagram account. So both Instagram and Facebook, you can find me, facebook.com/single mom fearless life. Same thing with Instagram. So at single mom fearless life. And the reason why I chose that is because that's the message that I want to put out to everybody. Like in order for you to really step into that authentic life, that dream lifestyle that you want, you really do have to learn how to become fearless, because you're going to have a lot of outside noise telling you that you can't do it, that you're wasting your time, all of this, all of that. You're wrong for thinking this, you're wrong for thinking that. And you really have to step outside of yourself and have the courage to become fearless, because until you do, you're going to be constantly drowned in the noise of other people. And that's where you can find me. And that's the reason for my name. And that's what I hope to inspire others to do as well, to just step into their authentic life, get that courage for themselves, and really become fearless, because there's so much greatness that happens when you do.
Nice. Following, by the way. And that's coming at you from Kangen 2020.
I love that. That, you know, and in fact, this last question that I have for you, you may have just answered it, but I always love to give all the guests that come on here one last, you know, if there were one last important thing that you could have to say, you may have already just answered it, but you know, from your heart, if you've got one last important thing that would be like the most important thing for you that you would offer out to the people that are going to be listening to this as time goes by, what would that be?
Yeah, I definitely have a message to say because I think we live in such a surface society, where we don't have a lot of opportunity to really break below the surface and kind of dive into what's kind of happening underneath. And so the reason why I bring that up is because as I'm building this business, I have had to really, really face a lot of myself. And I was actually just involved in a motorcycle accident a few months ago, and that really brought up a lot of emotional trauma for me. So, again, it brought up a lot of mental health. And before in the past, we're such a society where it's like, everything is okay. Like, you don't really talk about those things. But I want to let everybody know that everybody deals with mental health in one way or another. It's just to like a different degree, and that it's okay that you're going through all of these mental health, and it doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you incapable, of building what it is that you want to build. Like, I'm going through a lot of mental health right now myself, and there's been a lot of times where I just wanted to give up and like not do anything at all. So my message is, if you are in that state of mind, just know that it's okay to feel that way, and instead of just like kind of not doing anything at all, to just give yourself the permission to give yourself the space and the time that's kind of required to go within yourself to kind of work some of that stuff out. Because at the end of the day, your mental health doesn't go away by you kind of just um, bathing in it. It only goes away by you taking action towards what it is that you truly want. And I
Yeah.
think a Enagic is the perfect conduit, the gateway, whatever you want to call it, to your freedom, to that lifestyle where you don't have all of those mental stresses anymore. I think a lot of the mental stress that we do have is because we live in such a low vibration society, because we're not being paid what we're worth. So not only are our bills barely being paid, so we don't have any of this extra money to go really truly like fully express ourselves in the way that we want to. And I truly believe that a lot of the mental health really comes from us not being able to express ourselves. So it should be everybody's mission to really overcome their mental health and step into their true authenticity, because I truly believe when you do, like, there's so much abundance to be had, there's so many experiences to be had, there's just so much to be had on this planet. But we all need to go work on our mental health first before we can really bring that message forward and attract other people to do the same.
It's like Carlos Santana said, say life is for living. So why don't we live? We all need some loving. Why do we hate? And we hate ourselves a lot of times and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
Man, you're an epitome of everything you want. Like Marilyn said, I've got a 15-year-old daughter. You're the epitome of every dad would want his daughter to be. In a gender-free society. You're beautiful, you're courageous, you personify the strength and character of the woman. Without you girls, we wouldn't be here. I know so many women that don't value themselves. I know so many men that don't know how to value themselves because, they don't know how to value their women. We're just in a real weird time. And so your energy, your compassion, your drive, your focus, It's all an absolute reflection of just that which is good with humanity, and that's what's possible for moving forward. Yeah. No, you just have me regretting not putting more Facebook ads on. Just kidding, I'm telling you. No, but I'm excited for you. You know, you don't need anybody holding your hand. You know, you don't need anybody. You know, you'll definitely grab hands that are reached out for you as we're all pulling each other along. But you know, your drive, your sense of purpose, your commitment, yeah, it's really commendable. You know, and again, I couldn't help the whole life is for living, but here, this might have to be your new Enagic theme song, huh? Huh? Because I'm kind of musically inclined here, so this is how we roll in the Kong family.
Awesome. Music is life.
Yes, yes, we definitely do. And you know what? It brings us out of that rut too. When you say that mindset, if that isn't taken care of first, nothing else will go,
That's right.
you know, the way you want it to flow. I was so there.
You
Little
guys, I gotta
China
run. Kathy, it
Stop,
was a
Kathy.
pleasure.
Din.
Thank you, Dan.
God bless you,
Thank you so much.
panel.
Absolutely, you guys.
Love
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, brother. We always love you.
Give Liz our best there, soldier boy.
But
So,
yeah,
Right on. Yeah. What an awesome episode. Go ahead, Marilyn. Bring it, young lady.
I'm just so amazed with her. She's just bringing
Yeah.
so much that there is
Yeah.
hope. There is hope for everyone out there, and you know we're the ones that's got to believe that there is.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah. That's it. Absolutely personified in this lovely young lady, Miss Kathy Din. Thank you kindly.
Oh, I
Thanks.
want my
It's
daughter's
on me.
granddaughters to you.
Yeah,
Well, hope you had a good time on the Kong Show. You can see we're pretty informal amidst our formalities, you know.
Yeah, totally. It was an absolute privilege being on here. Thank you so much for allowing me to share
Yeah.
my story. And I'm really looking forward to the day when I hit 6A and truly get to make massive, massive impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Amen.
energy is very contagious.
The thing,
Yeah.
Kathy, about it is you're gonna make massive impact all along the way. You're already starting that process of making massive impact, and you know, I'm so grateful that you were able to make it in here and come and share your amazing story and your just incredible thought process. It's beautiful because yes, it all does start in the mind, and you know, that's one of the things that we're trying to help people understand. And I really think that your episode here today, if it gets shared out far enough and wide enough, that it's going to have massive impact, just like you would want it to have. And you know,
Yes.
there is one small thing that I gotta bring out here. This is called the Kong Family Show, and there's a reason why it's called the Kong Family, and that's because that little beautiful angel. Because see, my wife, she actually determined that Kong, because Kong is that big old gorilla. I always say, how do you think that gorilla got so big? He's out in the jungle drinking Kong's water from the base of the waterfall, and but my sweetie one day she said, "Sweetie, Kong's a girl," and that's kind of how her voice is too. And I said,
So,
"Okay,
Tina.
well, why do you say that Kong's a girl?" And she says, "Well, just listen to that machine. That's a girl's voice. That's not a boy's voice." And I go, "Oh, no doubt, fair enough. Okay, Kong's a girl. I'll dig it." But the key is that little beautiful girl that's in that machine. She says, "Kangen water 9.5. Kangen water 8.5.
All buster.
She doesn't say Kangen water. She says Kangen water.
It's so true.
Kangen, honey. So, you know, if you could do me a favor and start correcting people on that, because it's like even Daniel DeMacaulay calls it Kangen water, and Sam Tran keeps calling it Kangen water. It's not Kangen water, kids. It's Kangen water.
You know what?
I always
Not
say that if it
for it.
were Kangen water, the Kong family wouldn't even exist. because I
Yeah.
would have never, it's Kong's water. So anyway,
I'm
that's
more in
why the
tune in
Kong
it now.
family is here, is because it's Kong's water. And I always have loved that big gorilla. And I finally came to the understanding of why he was so big and how he got so big. And it was literally because of Kong's water, because it is out there in nature. It is at the base of a waterfall out in the jungle. And that's where he
Mhm.
lived. And that's where we all live, except we don't need to go to the waterfall. We can put that glacier on our countertop and we can accomplish our mission. And Sean, our mission, we're here to accomplish a mission of changing this world for the best. And how is it that we're doing that again?
One glass of hydrogen-rich, saturating and supremely hydrating Kangen water 9.5. Thank you kindly.
Hey, one
I
energetic.
haven't busted that out in a while, dude. I picked that up
Yeah.
like I ride a bike, It's like, yeah, we haven't broke that one out in a while. You put me on the spot and I pulled it from Steph Curry land and nothing but splash.
Yeah, I even became starting to design my own t-shirts. Life-changing water,
Nice.
1 cup, 1 gallon, H2O minus the OH.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, you're all amazing.
We can be very creative. I'm telling you, this business is not just a business, it's family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
feel it.
Another thing, Kathy, if you ever have anybody that's part of your team or people that you run into that are interested in sharing their story or would be willing to come on here and share their story, if you would, give them some encouragement to come on here and share their story so that we can get it out there to the world. We're always looking for people to share their stories because
So I'm guessing I would reach out to, I would direct people to Sean if they wanted to.
Sure. Either or. And, add J John. We'll get you added with J John too. But yeah, I'm always available. And one way or the other, we're just throwing each other dimes like John Stockton to Malone or Magic Johnson to Kareem, that kind of deal. So yeah, whenever, just reach out, let me know, and we can make it happen. Jay John's our pilot here, and I'm just a co-pilot, man. And pilot to pilot, we like to get up in the air and fly when we can,
amen, brother.
And he
And
would rather be
having
throwing dimes.
passengers and oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, my
he would rather
metaphors
be
are
throwing
endless, but
dimes than
my
those
basketball
car-
ones are my most favorite. I'm
Yeah,
throwing dimes like an old phone.
Now it's Donovan Mitchell, the Rudy Gobert, baby. But
Mhm.
Nice.
before we head out of here, if you don't mind, I'd like to give our meeting a closing prayer, and then we can get on with this awesome day and get out there and accomplish our mission. That's what we're here to do, right?
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Our Father in heaven, I'd like to thank you once again for another amazing day where, of course, once again, you allowed me to open up my eyes and my heart and my soul and my mind so that I could have a chance to get out there and do the same thing for others. And I first off want to say thank you so much for this amazing angel, Kathy Dinh, and just want to ask that you will bless her and help her and, put her into the places and with the people. You've already started that process, Lord, by bringing her into this amazing family of people that we have here. And, we can already see the amazing changes that it's helped her make in her life. And we just want to say thank you for bringing her here to share her story, and want to ask that you will give her strength and courage and light that she can share out, that the people that she shares this amazing thing that you and Mr. Oshiro have created with people as she moves out there, as she continues on this journey that she's on, that you will help her every step of the way to get where she wants to go, to accomplish her dreams, to accomplish her mission. And by doing that, it will help all the rest of us. And we ask that the message that has been shared today will be able to reach people the way that it has reached me today. And I just want to say thank you, Lord, for all this, the amazing people that you keep bringing into my life, from making a choice to get him involved with this amazing company, this amazing family, this amazing personal development program. And I've never had anything that has helped me develop myself better in my life than this company. And I just want to ask for as much love and as many blessings as possible for all of us as we continue down this crazy road that we're on. And Lord, I'm asking all of this humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, my Savior, our Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Guy, you're such a beautiful sap. Look, here's what I love about you, Jay John. We're in a world, and we kind of talked about this earlier. Men don't know how to be men. This image that men rolling around being all macho man, Randy Savage, Marlboro man, leathery, non-communicative. You know, the true man is the one who loves, the one who feels, the one who protects, you know, and does it with grace and does it with love and compassion. And you embody that all the time. You get me choked up, you sap. And I love you for it. I do. You're beautiful. And I just love that. And again, I think, Kathy, obviously you radiate with it. It resonates with you. Yeah, what a great show. I'm really humbled that we were able to have a show of this caliber. You know, I'm just jacked. We're really excited to have you on board. And again, if we can be here at any level, you know, reach out to us, reach out. You guys reach out to her, you know, Facebook wise. And this is how we grow our family. This is how we grow our community. And we just brighten our light. And this is a wonderful means with which to do that. And you've been exceptionally gracious. We're just humbled and thankful to have shared this little hour with you. And we look forward to having you on again in the near future when you're moving and shaking, you know.
Yeah, the epic update.
Yes. Looking forward to it.
That's it.
We are all
That's
Thank
it.
you for having me.
We are all family. In God's eyes.
Love you, kids. Have a great day.
too.
Make it a
Thank
great
you,
day. Get out
JJ.
there. Change the world.
Thank you,
Start with
Kathy.
fun
Nice to
and
meet
clean
you.
up. Get drugs, gets these things right here. So important.
Yes.
You can't get them from anybody else. Why not get them from yourself?
Yeah.
Love you, kids. Bye for now. Make it
Bye
a great
now.
All right. Giddy up.
Bye.
Thanks again. Peace.
Peace.